Hello, children of the night, and welcome to Tarot Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon, and this week we have a full supermoon lunar eclipse in Pisces. It is going to be big. It's going to be somewhat intense, I think. I think that's why we're starting out in the sunlight, getting a little meditative space, some quiet, some peace, and preparing for what's to come. It's going to be interesting. The only thing I pulled from this Pisces moon really is the feet, the footwork that is involved during Virgo season and how important it is. And I can see feet standing on their ground. I can see feet stepping in the right direction. I can see feet dancing to the sound of music, and I can see feet turning and running. And all of these feet are doing everything that they have culminated, whether we're running to our dreams, running from monsters, whether we're dancing in the full harvest of manifestation, or whether we're taking a stand for ourselves. Anything you do right now is going to be amazing. It's going to be important. So pay attention. Allow things to pass. Observe and react accordingly. I feel like we've been training for this the entire year. Our year 8, running those loops, those circles. Slowing down, pacing ourselves. Letting things pass and not letting things slide. Standing upright and getting ready to take flight. Let's get into our reads. I'm so ready. Let me go set up. Hey there, Aries. Do you know why I always feel like I need to get right for you? Why I always say that you have this daddy energy? It may well just be because my dad's an Aries. And he was a single parent. I was an only child. So he was really the only person in my life who ever told me that I had any value, that I deserved the best. And for whatever reason, rebellious child, I could not listen to him. I could not hear him. I would always take that mutable earth and I would just downgrade it a little bit. Well, maybe I don't need the best thing, but I can get the second to the best thing, That's something a little bit more in my price range. And getting around my dad and being around him really reminds me every time, almost a slap in the face, no, get the best. You are the best. You deserve the best. And he always tells me this, and I always flip it, switch it, bend it in my brain. But I want to understand. I want to feel that value for myself. I say that, I've got a strength card, just won't get off of the top of the deck now. No matter how I shuffle it, it's the strength of believing in yourself. The strength of believing in your own truth. And I think that's what we're working with here, and that's why I had to go through this whole spitting image. Let's go through this whole spitting image. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Alright. Alright, Knight of Pentacles came out on his side. I feel like we're stuck in the mud, Aries. I feel like we are blocking ourselves off from our movement and progression. because of this tower moment experience. Either we are in fearful anticipation of this tower, or we have just are shell shocked from what we have just like seen, done, experienced. And I think that's why I had to talk about my dad today, because I had to come in and remind you that you are more than this. You are more than this. You are more than this. You deserve better than this. This doesn't have to be your existence. You don't have to block yourself off from things, telling yourself that you can't afford it, telling yourself that you don't deserve it, that you don't deserve comfort in the physical, because of all of these thoughts inside of your mind, because of this tower moment. This is needing to reclaim our value. This is us needing to reclaim our value. As it just drops out of there. We need to reclaim our value. We are feeling less than valuable. We don't recognize the true beauty and magic words, because I wanted to say deserving, that we're deserving of this, but we don't deserve. We are served. You don't deserve. I am served. And I want you to use that magic word for yourself, those magic words for yourself. I am served. I am gifted. I am a receiver. And I want you to play with those words inside of your mind, and I want you to repeat them on 3s, because it really does bring a calming effect. I've utilized this. Now, beware when you are served. You can be served in all of the ways, in all of the karmic ways, which means that you might be served some papers to show up to court. And maybe not even a literal court, but an astrological or an ethereal court where judgment needs to be made. But I don't want you to fear that judgment, because there is no good and bad in this hall of judgment. We don't want to go inside of the building, but if we enter here, we're not going to be deemed as good or bad. We're just going to observe the facts. Take the attachment out of these things. Give ourselves the opportunity to truly observe and see. And maybe that's why we're held up. We're caught up in that fear. We don't want to go inside of that building. We don't want to face all of that judgment. Judgment sounds scary, but it's not. It's not when you get into it, because we're not looking for a winner or a loser in this court. We are just looking for the facts. And the facts are that we're all good and bad people. We all do good and bad things. And it's the lessons that we learn from those things that are of the most value. Look at that. See, I am handing you the sword. You are being handed the sword to cut yourself free of your binds, of your restrictive mentalities, of the things that you believe to hold yourself back. We are going to cut away this blindfold that we have placed upon ourselves. We are going to look at things truthfully. It is like the blindfold, the justice. But it is. And look, this sword of truth bears your crown. You are not unworthy. You are not undeserving. You were just in the wrong place. You had the wrong thoughts. You got yourself twisted and tangled into something that wasn't really yours to begin with. But the influence that is present on the top of our deck is is that there is something that is yours and it's waiting to approach. We just have to be able to open our eyes to see it. And we will. And we shall. You gotta untie your knots, Aries. There's that Nine of Swords again popping in. No, I know. I know it sounds real scary. But I promise you, letting yourself be naked, be bare, allowing the realities to settle in is going to bring you clarity of thought. Again, it's not about a winner or a loser. It may look like this, but each one of these people is wearing a trash bag suit of their own design. There's no need to hold yourself in either of these positions. There's no need to put your higher self above your lower self. You say, but it's higher and lower. One's got to be above and one's got to be below, right? Yes. But on the scales of justice, look at that. On the scales of justice, we take the vertical and make it horizontal. We balance it out. We even it out. Where there is loss, there is gain. What you think you lost, you've already gained. It's already sitting on the other side of the scale. There is new beginning. There is new hope. There is new connection. There is balance to be had when you allow yourself to put all of your good and all of your bad into these scales. You might be surprised to see how evenly balanced things really are and can be. Like, oh, that math actually adds up. You take the good with the bad and then you have the facts of life. What? Oh, what? Yeah. No, really. All of that old shit that you've heard over and over and over again, did you ever really hear it? Did you ever really hear those words with such crystal clean clarity before? Maybe not, because you were too afraid to step into that hall of justice and really take it for what it is. Once we do, my heart just feels so much lighter. Almost none of these cards are good, and yet my heart feels lighter. Just having taken them out and put them up on display. Seas? Do you see the seas? From the sea to the sea, don't you see? We are all love. We are all hope. We all carry our hearts. And yes, we can all walk on water. That love and connection, it comes from within your own self. That's why we get this page. That's why we get this new journey, this new understanding, this new way to hold our cup that we have been cleaning and working with. I told you, I felt it. I felt it coming. The sun fell right into our laps. I heard that as laps. like a time lapse. Maybe it's a lapse in judgment, but I don't think so. I think that as you move yourself through these processes and allow yourself to see, hear, and feel the depths and the weight of everything that has brought you up until this point, you are going to find a surprising amount of lightness and happiness that you didn't even know you deserved until you put yourself up on that scale and allowed yourself to judge and be judged and honor your own truth. There were winners, there were losers, because you weren't being truthful to yourself first, and what is really in your heart, and what is really in your mind. But that sunshine is shining. It's coming in. I want to keep going, but this might honestly be it. It's a lot to go through, truthfully. Below the table. I wanted to say that the Emperor had fallen, but I think we need to pick him back up. I think we need to pick this identity back up and hold it. Coming from the depths of stagnation with that Knight of Pentacles and this Five of Pentacles coming in, this is your elevation moment. This is your opportunity to bring yourself back into full power and control of your own self, your own life, and your own destiny, and knowing yourself and your truth and honoring that. Being willing to fight for it. Taking your losses with your wins, learning your lessons, and applying them to better uphold the empire that is your world and your surroundings. I know it sounds like a child's dream, but we're chasing after it. Let's go. Let's get on the move. You don't want to be stuck here anymore. I don't want to see you stuck here anymore. Pick yourself back up. Untie those knots. And recognize that you are good, that you are worthy, that you deserve. And the only reason that you have suffered thus far is because you were not truly honoring yourself. So take this cup. Take this staff of wisdom. And off! Off you go. Riding out into the sunlight. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Aries. We'll see you next time.